Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys.
Cowboys Michael Irvin reveals how calm Zimmer D can be better than Quinn's. I've known both Michael Irvin and Mike Zimmer for over 30 years. And calm is not the word I'd use to describe the personal style or the football style of either of them. But as the Dallas Cowboys finalize the plan to bring back Zimmer to their coaching staff as the defensive coordinator, Irvin is fired up about Zim's coming calm approach. Calm, Michael? Zim? The coach who Darren Woodson says it about to shock the system at the Star. How so? Mike Zimmer will bring a more calm approach, Irvin said to TMZ, and he'll make every team walk the ball down the field. By calm, Irvin means that the Dallas defense, which he characterizes as a risk-taking bunch under previous defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, will not need to do so going forward. None of this is ripping Quinn. What he did here on the way to earning the head coaching job in Washington was fantastic. But in the opinion of the Cowboys legend and Hall of Famer Irvin, Zimmer's style might be even more complimentary, because given Dallas' offensive prowess, head coach Mike McCarthy's team finished number 1 in scoring in the NFL last year. Defensive risks aren't necessary. If you've got an explosive offense, Irvin said, and the other team has to walk the ball down the field, it gives you a better chance at winning. Again, to translate, Irvin, who also said he's not healed from the Cowboys' most recent playoff failure, is suggesting that Zimmer, who was on the 1995 Super Bowl staff in Dallas, will utilize a defense that forces teams to forge long drives down the field. That's the walk. Does that make Zimmer better than Quinn? It's not about that. It's about what best helps the 2024 Cowboys be more successful than the 2023 Cowboys. And Michael Irvin believes they've pinpointed a way. Cowboys star CeeDee Lamb breaks silence on beef with Dak Prescott. Dallas Cowboys star pass catcher CeeDee Lamb cleared the air and assured there's no rift between him and quarterback Dak Prescott. The Cowboys were bounced from the postseason early after a 48-32 wildcard loss to the Green Bay Packers. Lamb, Prescott and the rest of the Cowboys were not in sync during the matchup, which was mentioned multiple times on the broadcast. The duo combined for a record-setting regular season, with Lamb catching 135 passes for 1,749 yards and 12 touchdowns. Lamb set the Cowboys' franchise record for both receptions and receiving yards in a single season. Much has been made about the relationship between Prescott and Lamb since the season ended. In addition, Lamb's mother, Lita Ramirez, added fuel to the fire with a scathing social media post that put Prescott in the crosshairs. She wrote, "Doc, isn't it?" Lamb cleared the air on his relationship with Prescott on Friday, February 9 during an appearance on teammate Micah Parsons' show, The Edge. "I have no beef with my quarterback. I love my dog, he knows that," Lamb said. "Doc can definitely lead us to a Super Bowl. He just also needs other leaders. And that's why I'm pointing at myself. I can help him. He's already got so much on his plate." CeeDee Lamb sends message to Cowboys Nation. Lamb further addressed the comments from his mom and added a message for the fans. "Cowboys Nation man, first and foremost, I appreciate it. I love each and every one of you. Even though y'all be talking crazy sometimes. It's okay, it comes with the territory," Lamb said. "Appreciate you. I know, we're going to clear the elephant out the room, I know what my mom said. You feel what I'm saying. Let's get the elephant out the room." He assured the comments from his family do not reflect how he's feeling about his team or his future. "I have not been talking to my mom about any of this," Lamb said. "I don't talk to my mom about my sports nor my personal problems. She's just being a mom." Cowboys WR CeeDee Lamb feels he can grow as leader. Lamb did not place blame for the wildcard loss and pointed the finger back at himself. He knows that if the Cowboys want to be a championship-level team, he needs to do more. "First and foremost, I do got to grow up. There's plenty of ways for me to handle different situations. Me being mad is not one of the answers. I know this. I can be more of a leader, be more vocal. Ellipsis. If I'm gonna take this label as being one, there are times when I have to get out of my shell, get out of my comfort zone. Ellipsis. I want us to be who we're supposed to be, the number one offense in the NFL. The Cowboys exercised the fifth-year option on Lamb last offseason. Dallas will work on an extension with Lamb in the coming months that will likely make him the one of, if not the, highest-paid receivers in the league. Cowboys' Tony Pollard reveals free agency plans. It's a business. It's hard to say what will happen with the Cowboys' Tony Pollard, who is entering free agency for the second consecutive year and whose status in Dallas is uncertain after what was a mostly disappointing showing in 2023. Pollard was given a franchise tag contract last year, worth $10.1 million for one season, on the basis that he would be given a trial run as the lead back after the departure of Ezekiel Elliott. It did not go all that well, though it was not a complete disaster. Pollard logged 1,005 yards this season, which was good for 12th in the NFL and only 2 yards off last year's total, 1,007. But he did so on 252 carries, and his average of 4.0 yards per carry was well off last year's mark, 5.2 yards per rush. That has fueled speculation that the Cowboys might look for another top-flight running back next season. Pollard, though, is hoping that's not the case. His plan, he says, is Cowboys first. As he told the Blogging the Boys podcast this week, if I could choose, I would love to be in Dallas. But at the end of the day, it's a business. So, it is what it is. You gotta be ready for what comes. Cowboys' Tony Pollard. A bit soon to worry about free agency. It's not even Valentine's Day, though, and Pollard knows that it's still too early to get a sense of what might happen next. We're still more than a month away from when players and teams can begin signing contracts. It's a bit soon right now, especially with the current season going on, Pollard said. But after the Super Bowl, when the free agency market gets going, I feel like it will be a little bit more of a clearer picture for me to see how things are going. In the meantime, Pollard said he will start in on training after the Super Bowl. He was not completely healthy last season, having suffered a nasty leg injury in the playoff loss to San Francisco the previous year. Pollard said it was not until Week 10 that he felt fully healthy. That was the week he scored his first touchdown since the season opener, a drought of 8 games. Pollard scored 4 touchdowns in the final 8 games. I would say probably the Carolina game. That was when I felt like I was back to myself after that, he said. Turned off the NFL after Packers' loss. As for the way this season ended, with the 48-32 blowout loss to the Packers, a huge disappointment after another 12-5 season and the number 2 seed, Pollard said it has taken him some time to file that away. The Super Bowl will be the first NFL game he's watched since. It was a tough loss. It was a tough way to go out to end our season, especially playing as good as we were throughout the course of the season. It definitely was a disappointing loss for us, he said. I haven't watched football since that game. I just feel like the way that we went out, we're a much better team than that. That was tough for us to go out that way. So, I haven't even watched it. I'm gonna watch the Super Bowl, though.